Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? My name is Twan. This is my guy, Winks. Winks, say what's up to everybody, man.
What up, world? It's your boy Jay Wink. You're now in tune into a new show and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Got my cousin Twan on here.
Yo, just hanging out, having fun. So welcome to a brand new thing. It is my cousin and myself. We grew up in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. When we say nowhere, Ohio, we mean we actually seen buggies going up and down the street. Um, we
I don't know.
actually went.
I don't know too many in Orville. I didn't see too many in Orville, but I've seen a lot
we
around
we
here. But
definitely
go
had the
on.
horse and buggy thing because we were close to like one of the strong areas of Mennonite and Amish families. We were just outside of a place called Kidron. It's like 15 minutes away. So the community out there was very strong, seeing horse and buggies a fair amount toward that side of town. But they were trying to go to Walmart over on your side. So yeah, y'all probably got more action than we did.
That's funny. That's funny right there.
I mean, you guys loved your Walmart, and I wasn't mad at you guys for the love of your Walmart. I just didn't appreciate the way they like came in like a wrecking ball, and just took out all the little mom and pop shops. Like they was ruthless with it, and that was the '90s. So I mean, we seen it, but I don't think we quite understood what the ramifications for something like that were really going to be.
Nah, you got a point. Uh, so he's 15 minutes away from where I live. My backstory. Uh, I grew up in Worcester, Ohio. We from Ohio and stuff like that. I'm still here and everything like that. I do a YouTube channel, Wink channel. I talk about vinyls and stuff like that. And basically, me and my cousin Juan connected on some kind of on some bullshit. Actually, he jumped on one of my videos, and people saw the chemistry. So I'm gonna let him say what he needs to say. If he jumps back in.
Yo, man, I just I enjoyed the camaraderie. Like Wink said, we grew up 15 minutes away from each other. Um, me, my sister, and mom would hop in the car, ride over, and hang out with him and his family, and we just be out there, kids in the front yard or backyard or whatever, playing. Um,
Right.
as time moved on, we got away from that connection. We became junior high guys, and at that point, we were very competitive. So we would go over to his town, which happened to be our rival school, because there was only one high school in my town and his. So every year it was like something like an Ohio State, Michigan type vibe in our areas. We didn't like them, they didn't like us. When it came to athletics, we were always trying to be better than they were. And that's the way that was. So when we were in junior high, we knew each other as family, but we didn't visit each other as much. You know how it gets when you get to the junior high and high school stage. You have little time for anything outside of everything you're doing. And so we would see each other at the competitions, see each other at like the
Mm-hmm.
state fair, the carnival, 4th of July. And that would be about the only time that we would be like, yo, man, what's up? How you doing? Other than that, deep winter time when we play that basketball game, play that football game, deep fall, there's no smiles to be had. Like we literally we meet up at pregame, say our what's ups, good to see you, and after that it was a wrap until after the game. If we didn't already like start heading toward the locker room, getting ready to get up out of there, because it was that type of territory that you didn't want to stay too long in that building. Like it was like I said, it was the Ohio State Michigan type vibe. Respect you, but man, I don't like you.
But like a lot of people won't realize that like you play sports when I stopped playing football. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I think 99, given my age out there.
I
But
stopped playing
2000.
football way earlier. Way earlier.
Oh, so you stopped in junior high.
I seventh grade was my first and last year playing football. It came to
Oh,
me because I was playing against cats that were looking like they were about to go to some D1 schools for real. One of them ended up going to Ohio State. But here was the thing. I was kind of skinny, and yeah, I was a wide receiver, fairly tall, but not extra tall. So I just had a problem with somebody running full speed, knocking me the hell out several times a game. Like it just seems like it wasn't really for me, and that's why I quit playing football after my seventh grade season. Like they had
mm.
like 3 plays drawn up in a row. I'll come out after the first one looking confused. Like it just was not my. It wasn't my vibe. It wasn't my area
uh,
of
it,
decency.
it's my I say my eighth grade going into my freshman year. I didn't really want to play football no more. But my dad, you know how it is, when your uncle and your dad play sports, you got to do it. Just give me the origin about,
Unfortunately, as you heard and have seen, my uncles were kind of baddies at athletics. So my even though my dad wasn't from the area, he wasn't really a known type of deal. But my uncles, I had 4 of them. My mom has 4 brothers and 1 sister, and my uncles, from what I understand, were kind of badass at most sports. From my oldest uncle being a dynamic football player, to my second uncle, who, from what I heard, was Jordan before Jordan. Like I heard he was just bad on the courts, and I only seen it here and there growing up. But that pressure, because my uncle, my mama's brothers, are badasses. You better go out here and show people something, especially in a small town. Everybody
mm,
in the town grew up with your mom, your uncles, so you have a standard, if you will. You have something that you have to go back to. You can't do worse than what they did, according to the standards of that time period
oh,
in that area.
oh, yeah. Uh, my uncle took Worcester. This is when Top Gun comes out and everything like that. So we're talking about the early '80s. I'm just born, diapers. But when you see that picture in your house talking about, hey, your uncle took Worcester to the Ohio conference, the federal conference back then, 22-2, broke his leg and everything like that. This shit is wild. So, like, I just play ball. You know what I'm saying? I did track. Did you do track?
Yo, I honestly, I did track before junior high. That we had a dairy in town, and they sponsored a track meet every year for the elementary kids.
Mm.
I wasn't really a runner. I wasn't really a track dude like that. I was actually shopping in the Husky section when it came for back to school shopping. I wasn't. I didn't have the running body in my early days. My mom gave me one rule, and I followed that rule to the letter. Every year, like first grade through sixth grade, her one rule was this: don't come in last. I came in next to last every damn race. Every From first grade through sixth grade, every race that I ran, I came in next to last. It was not great, bro. there were hurdles, there were obstacles that I couldn't climb.
Yeah.
I luckily didn't like bite it going over the hurdles, but I envisioned that could have happened. It was real easy to see that in my mental.
Like I said, like we went to high school together. Shout out to Andrew Brown. He was the first one who kind of pissed me off. We went to Orville, and
Andrew
we were
Brown
doing
was a
the
hell of a track
100.
dude. He was fast. He was fast.
Hmm?
Yeah, I remember him being fast.
And you know, R.I.P. my cousin Kenny, and everything like that. So I see him. Just making a long story short, I'm like, man, I gotta run against him. Like, you know, hey, I grew up with him around like 93, 94, 95. So I'm like, oh man, this is about to be a race. As soon as that, you know, that gun shoots off, yeah, he was gone.
He was one of those guys, man. That just had that. It was something like an ethereal speed. Like he was fast, but then like you put him in certain situations, and he just seemed faster.
Hmm. I think he had something to prove. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna get into the whole Worcester Orville shit, but like when y'all came over here to Worcester, y'all had something to prove. When we went over to Orville, we had something to prove. You get what I'm saying?
Like I said, man, it was one of those deals of who's better, and we always wanted to outdo each other, and having that type of idea or pressure in our minds of who our uncles and our peoples are. They did some things. We are their descendants. We should probably do some things too. And so it's like a
But like,
built-in thing. Like I can only guesstimate the type of pressure that like Lil LeBron's got. Like he's that dude. And like our uncles was nice, but they weren't that nice. So I can only imagine that it was that type of pressure, but you know, that's what we had back then with lesser known people in our corner.
oh yeah, I mean, like, think about it. Like, my mom graduated. I'm not for sure from Orville or Worcester. I'm not for sure. But if you
You
think
know what?
about it, like,
You know that she was lucky she went to Orville. We were better.
but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the whole thing. Like, hey, I grew up here in Worcester. My mom kind of grew up in Orville and shit like that. Came over here. But
What
anyways,
was it?
like, you know,
No, my bad, bro. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I
I was
was
just hitting
gonna
the judge.
ask, like, were you conflicted growing up on that side with so many roots as well being on the other side?
It was weird shit, like having issues with like people I knew I had cousins.
It's hard for me to imagine because we had a little bit different of a lifestyle in those days. Coming from the calm side of the Ville to the little bit rougher area of the Woo, and then the different styles of our family. So my
I
grandmother,
wouldn't say it was, when I say this, it wasn't different to the Woo and Norville because the Woo and Norville still the same. Everybody goes through the same shit.
okay. So what
It's
was
just
it?
like
Was it the different sides of the family that I had that my grandma and then your grandpa were brother and sister, right? So that's how we're cousins. But do you think that played a factor in part of how we ended up coming up with the matriarch versus the patriarch? Because your grandfather was one of 4 children, and he was the only boy. So, and my grandmother was the one of 3 girls, and she was the oldest of all 4. So I wonder if that played a bit of a role in the lifestyles that we were brought up under, or the umbrellas, if you will.
Uh, Not to get too deep, but it does. But I grew up around a different side of my dad's side is a different side. You know what I'm saying? So
Understandable. My dad was Cleveland, but he wasn't really around, so I didn't have overly that influence of much different other than like my grandma, and my mom.
I mean, like we can talk about both our sides family from Alabama.
Yeah. No, okay. So my grandma, the oldest of the four, was born 1935, Alabama.
Mm.
Our great grandmother, Medea, was born in 1910, Alabama. And I think about it fairly often, and I struggle to conceptualize what it would have been like for an African American, in their case, female, in 1910, 1930s, 40s. Like, I struggle to conceptualize all of the modern stuff that we have available to us not almost being a thought. Like, how do we feed like five people, a house of five, on like a couple $100 for a paycheck? They was doing more than that with less than that. So I understand inflation and everything, but it still seems like a damn big stretch for a lot of what they
Well,
accomplished.
oh yeah, yeah. Like our great grandmas and grandmas, like grandpas and stuff, great uncles. We gotta give it up to them because they lived in a different situation than we
And I
did.
look at their resilience of what they went through, bro. I cannot help but salute, like, all day. Like my grandma is still in the land of the living. She will be 89 in a couple of months. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was working. This is like during pandemic, and I was up for a raise, and I got one, but it wasn't the one that I thought that I deserved, and it wasn't as much as I thought that I should have gotten. And I remember
Mm.
like just being in my feels about it, and I wanted to, complain and be like, "Damn it, somebody stepped over me. Somebody got over on me." And I went to call my grandmother, and I remember like the phone was ringing, and I'm contemplating like how I'm gonna lay this out to her about me getting passed over for the raise that I wanted, or not getting what I wanted essentially. And then I remembered that I'm calling a person that was born as a black person in the South, Alabama, in 1935.
Correct.
This woman has showed me how to pick cotton so that your fingers don't bleed and blister up and this and that and whatever. She showed me how to do that stuff, even though picking cotton would has not ever been a part of my life. I think the closest I've ever gotten to that, it was picking out a cotton bleeding shirt. But to call her up and be like, "Hey, I got something to complain about," and then to think about some, and I can't even put this into the magnitude of what she's lived or what she really understands. But just knowing the idea that I was about to complain to somebody that, man, like, what do you say to somebody that done actually picked cotton because they had to?
Well,
Like,
like
your
you don't
complaints get
understand.
minimized real quick.
Like my grandma was born in 1939, which we thought might have been younger because at that time it was different. So there's a lot of things that like we don't know that like you have to question sometimes. But I get what you're saying though. But like my grandma kind of like taught me like how you said like the working, just work. Things will come to you. It might not come to you at that time, but you gotta keep pushing. That's one thing she installed in me.
Yeah, I remember the press on type narrative. I remember the press on narrative. Like today, I see a lot of the pushback because things are difficult. They didn't go my way. Like I see a lot of that interact with people where the shit just didn't materialize the way that you wanted it or would have liked it to. And
Oh
in
yeah.
some of
Oh
those
yeah. Oh
situations,
yeah.
some of those people like totally buckle and it jacks up their entire like everything. And for me, having been in that environment of people that have known nothing less than struggle a lot, it imported that idea of yes, things may not go the way you would like it to, and keep going. Why?
I mean, like we have
Because you
two
have to,
completely
because there's something to achieve. You have this goal, you have this idea,
hmm?
get to it.
Like we had two completely different backgrounds in life. I know we'll touch it episode 2, episode 3, 5, whatever. But it's just different. Like hearing your story and hearing my story, and it's just not like we're not talking about hip hop. Like people are getting to
I
see.
mean, we are. Here's the thing, man. Like we are, and this is something that's kind of unique, is that we're actually family. It's not a vibe that we had to pick up necessarily. It was one that we started out with. We got away from it,
Right.
but like a lot of relationships, just because you don't talk every day doesn't mean that you don't vibe. And that's part of the thing. When you vibe, hell, you just vibe. And I'm grateful that you're part of my family, my guy. So that I can literally pick up the phone and call you and be like, yo, how you feeling? How you doing? Like, what's popping? And it's not a stretch at all to me because it's a family thing. Like, and I understand a great degree of it. Because I mean, we cut from very identical cloths, so it doesn't make sense that I can't even hear your idea. And me personally, I want to know. Like I know we spent a hell of a lot of time away. Now that we've gotten to a slightly different phase in life,
Mm.
and we're realizing some things a little differently now that we have families of our own. We can see the importance and the value of them that we may not have thought as much about or in depth about previously. And so
Oh
to be able
no.
to come
Like,
back together with you
yeah, yeah.
and share these experiences, it's a wonderful thing as far as I'm concerned.
No, I appreciate it. I think it's like kind of different for me because I'm talking real shit. Like all of the day is I'm speaking like the truth and everything like that. And I appreciate you trying to get a new platform and you helping me out too. So I appreciate you on that.
Yo, man, it's my pleasure. Um, I, I see you, my guy. I see you out there grinding. I see you taking care of your peoples, your family. I I can't do anything but salute and respect what you're doing. You are making it happen in whatever regard that means at the moment. You making it happen. You planning for a birthday party in like next year, damn near. Man, why can I salute all day, bro? I'm not planning a
Oh,
birthday party. My birthday like next month. You
oh,
plan
you
on one
heard
for
that.
next year. Like, bro,
That's it.
I Yo, I salute my guy. Salute all day, bro. You are doing things. And I'm proud of you, my guy. I can't express to you in the fullest sincerity how proud of you I am. Like, let's be realistic. The last time we was face to face, we was probably on a basketball court our junior year, battling it out. After that, the third day of our senior year in high school, I had a collapsed lung. I didn't play for the school. I ended up playing Boys and Girls Club rec ball. Won the championship over Worcester, I believe. And then I split out to college, played baseball for a year, came back for a hot one, came back for a year, hopped over into Worcester, where you live at, for like a year before I hopped into the Army and moved. Let's see, yeah, I hopped in the Army, was out September 04, got to Seattle February 05, and have been here for the last 19 years. So like that was the last time we had like literally linked up face to face, and so many things rather have changed in 19 years. And right. There were even some things like before that 19-year span that, when we got to, the high school, junior high spot, like we were talking about, like we just kind of separated, doing our own things respectively. So realistically, it was a thing. And it's amazing to be able to come back, talk to you as if, we're still, going over to each other's houses and chopping it up and just having fun and experiencing everything, man. I love that I'm able to relink with you, and be able to get back on page with my actual family. So, my guy, as we about to wrap this up, I just wanted to ask you one thing. All right, we are at the beginning of February, okay?
All right.
Do you have something planned for February? Like, do you have any like big records that you're talking about coming up or anything like that?
I can't say that because I don't know what records are going to come out. So,
is there anybody that you're looking forward to?
Truthfully,
what else would I want other than the truth?
I kind of want that guy named K.E.M. we were talking about before.
Kim, you want Kim to drop an album?
No, I want
Kim
that.
I mean, we didn't heard Love Calls umpteen thousand times. Does Kim still have it?
No, that's what album I want.
Oh, you want that old school to come in?
Yeah, I want.
You know what? Look, we're gonna leave off with this one. I'm gonna need you to check out if you want that old school vibe and not quite Kim old school, but a little bit older. I have to tell you, my vote is probably going to go to October London. October London, I believe, might be that new old school.
Do you like Black Pumas?
I've heard them. They all right. They work. Not sure if they're there, but it works.
I like the first album.
You like that one?
Yeah, I got it on vinyl.
Of course you do. Yo, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Steele Roots Talk. I am your guy, Twan. You got my guy over here.
I'm Winks.
Yo, we appreciate you tuning in and vibing with us. Please, we're going to be on here chopping it up and just, shooting the shit, having some fun. Join us. Much love. I see you.
All right, well.
Bet.